I'm going to record today's session, so when I send you out my follow-up email, you guys will have a chance to share it, listen to it, whatever you need. Everybody is self-muted, so please raise your hand or chat in your questions. I know your GoToTraining menu looks a little different than mine, but you should see the little chat on there. I sent everybody a welcome today chat, so it should be flashing so you guys can see where the chat is. So I just want to go over a few things while everybody is still signing on. If you haven't already done so, please register at ASNOA.com. That way you can come in and sign up for all of these member services that are exclusive to ASNOA. Coming soon is our ASNOA Epic Guidebook. So we're going to be putting all of our how-tos on there and all of our quote sheets, so you guys will have access to all of that in the Epic Guidebook. Right now you can access your quote templates in the member resource section. You can get the instructions to download Epic, request an Epic sign-on for any new hires in your agency. So in order to have access to that, you need to register at ASNOA.com. You can schedule any of our classes, and here's where you're going to sign up for that Epic birthday list instructions that we're going to talk about later, and find out information about our small business commercial course. Right now, Kathy has that already going on, so look for emails for the next class in spring. We send out our newsletter, so remember to look for all the news that's going on in our office here, all of our carrier spotlight trainings, and we do house all of that information on our website as well. Coming soon, and we're very excited about our ASNOA 2019 sales conference, so watch for emails for that. That'll also be in the newsletter. And we do have the Epic class in each one of the states, so we're so excited about that. So as Kathy always says, the dream team is coming to you. So please register for our classes. And our next live with Laura, our guest speaker is going to be Megan Lang, and she is our marketing manager, and she's going to talk about all the exciting new features at the sales conferences. So please register for that. She's going to reveal some exciting new ideas and new thoughts that we're doing. Here's the ASNOA YouTube. Anissa's been keeping up with this, and she's putting in all of our how-tos and all of the carrier spotlights. So thank you, Anissa, for that. I have not received a lot of goals this year, so please email us at training@asnoa.net so we can get that to you and set that all up for your 2019 goals for your dashboard in Epic. All right, so keep an eye out for all of our emails, and please remember to fill out and complete the evaluation at the end of our training. We really appreciate all of your guys' thoughts, what we'd like to see on the next live with Laura, so please keep them coming. And a lot of people actually requested to know how to fax from Epic, so that's why we're going to show that to you on today. All right, so we are going to get started, and I'm going to unmute you, Anthony, and I'm going to change presenter to Anthony. So Anthony, you can share your screen, and
okay.
All right, can everybody raise your hand? Let us know if you can see Anthony's screen. Wonderful, thank you. All right, take it away, Anthony.
All right, well, first off, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and I hope, we can go over a few things today. That these are common questions that we get from our affiliates, and we just want you to know that you have the tools, to run your agency at a very high level. And we're here to assist you in any way that we can, but just so that you know that everything that I'm going to show you today, you have at your fingertips. So you don't have to waste the time I don't want to say waste of time. You don't have to wait to get a certain report or information that you might need, because we know you're going to be on the phone with different carriers or tax accountants depending on the time of the year, and you have access to all these reports. That is really just a few clicks of a button, and you're going to have that information right there for you. So I'm going to go over a few different reports, a couple other things that relate to the accounting aspect of our services. And if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll try to get to them at the end of my time. If not, you can always reach out to me. You should have my contact info, or we'll make sure that you all do. And please don't ever hesitate to reach out to myself or anyone in my department regarding anything that is accounting related. So getting started here, I'm going to go ahead and go into Epic. So, and we're specifically talking about reports. So this is essentially your home screen. You might have some different info here. I just put it for the calendar. I know a lot of people actually like to put open activities, but I didn't want to clutter the screen too much. But anyways, let's just say producer report, producer commission, right? So you're all going to receive this. I do see a lot of newer affiliates here, so maybe you have or have not already viewed a producer commission report. So if you're looking to see what your carrier or what the carriers are paying us and what we've received and reconciled, you're going to want to run a producer commission report. Now, the producer commission report is going to be emailed to you on the first of the month. It is automatically scheduled so that it goes out at 1 a.m. so that if you're an early riser and it's the first of the month, you wake up and you want to see all the commissions that we received and processed in the previous month, you're going to have that report in your email. Now, that report is going to be labeled your agency name. So if it's ABC Insurance Services, the subject in the email is going to be ABC Insurance Services dash current producer. Yes.
Are you going into the reports and marketing?
I'm about to. I'm just kind of explaining.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, because I didn't know we couldn't see that screen. I apologize.
Oh, okay, no problem. So okay. just to kind of finish that thought, the first report that I'm going to show you, it is going to be automatically generated for you for a 1 month period. And again, that's going to be emailed to you on the first of the month. However, if you ever want to run this report for a previous month, for a specific time period, you can always do that. And now going forward, I'm going to show you where that is. You're going to be here on your home screen. You can get to it a couple different ways. I think the easiest way is right here on the left-hand side. You're going to see a bunch of tabs. You're going to want to click on Reports/Marketing. Now, you're going to see I have quite a bit of reports because I have one for every single agency. But you're going to see whatever reports that you want. And we're going to put all these reports that we know are beneficial to our affiliates in your My Reports. This list right here can be as large or small as you want. Like we said, all these reports that we can run, whether it's accounting based or another thing regarding insurance, you can create the report and have them saved in your My Reports with your criteria, so you don't necessarily have to change too many things. So we're going to start with the producer report. And if you see here, I have it labeled Master-Producer Commission. Yours is going to be your agency name. So again, let's just use a simple one, ABC Insurance Services. So at the end of this, if you would like to get this report sooner rather than later, just send me an email and I'll go ahead and create it, and I'm going to drop it into your My Report so that the next time you log into Epic, you come into the reports marketing area. In this list, you'll see the report, ABC Insurance Services - Producer Commission. So getting into it, it's going to be pretty simple. Payable agency, in this case, in Epic, the agency is actually the state that you're located in. So really, it's only going to have one here. You're going to see I have quite a bit. But let's just say you're from Arizona. This is automatically going to be pre-filled for you. So when you're looking at this report, you're going to want to change or make sure that the agency is just the state that you're located in. So in this case right here, I just selected Arizona. So that should always be there once we create that report for your specific agency. Same thing here with branch. So some of you might have multiple branches. You're going to see here kind of, this one has 9, some might have 2. However, we're going to, again, create this for you, but just to make a note, if you do have multiple branches and you want the reports differently, or individually for each branch, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to show you how you can do that as well at the end of this example. But either way, let's just say we'll have accounting right here. That's the branch, accounting. So this is always going to be here for you, and so is the agency or in the state that you're going to be in. We're going to pre-fill that for you when we send this to you. Now, if you do click the wrong state and you try to generate the report, it's just not going to show up for that specific state because it's all based on your security. So rest assured, nobody else is able to run your reports because of the security. Only allows them to run whatever state they're in and whatever their branch is located. So if you selected all, it's still not going to show you anybody else's production except what you have security to. So now let's just say here we want to run a report for January. You're going to see here that this report is always going to default to current default plus 0 months, which means if I were to go and generate this report right now, it's going to give me anything that's reconciled in February. However, we want to know what was done in January. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this criteria section and you're going to select what you're looking for. You can make it simple where you can do select month, the current default, and we can do -1. That would mean that right now the accounting month is February because it's February 6th. So if you wanted to run current -1, that is going to run everything for January of 2019. If you're a little concerned that it's not going to pull the right data, which it will, rest assured, you can go ahead and make it a little easier on your eyes, so to speak, and you can go ahead and select range, uncheck open for both areas, and do January 2019 through January 2019. And then you can do a couple different things with this report. You can come up here and hit print preview, and that will then generate the report so that you can see it on here and you can scroll through however many pages it is. You can have it set, you can come up here and hit print report, and then that'll automatically print to your default printer. But you're not going to see it until it prints. So if you're going to have a large report that's 50 pages, I would suggest print previewing it first. Or you can go here, I'm over here on the left-hand side now, you'll see modify criteria, which is where we're at, layouts and delivery options. So if you wanted to schedule this report every month, every week, every day, whatever time period you want to receive it, you can go ahead and do that. Like I said, we schedule it so that it goes out on the 1st of every month for the previous month. But you can do it however you want. So what you would do here is you would come here and you would select who the recipients are. So in this case, you see myself and our accounting manager, JJ. You can select whatever subject you want. Over here, the scheduling on the right side, you can do schedule now. And then if you were to hit, it would automatically be sent to your email. Or if you want to schedule it for a specific time period, you can select, say, we'll move up here a little bit, March 1st at 1 a.m. and then the recurrence, first day of every month, one time only, every weekday, whichever time period that you want, you can schedule that report. But in this case, in this report, I don't think you're really going to need to schedule it since we send it to you on a monthly basis. You're more or less going to want to see this report for a specific time period. So if we go back here to modify criteria, let's just say you want to know what was your entire production for the calendar year 2018. Well, that's a very simple process. All you're going to do here is go click on the accounting month criteria line item, and you're going to do range, and you would do January 2018 through December of 2018. Now you can go on here and however you want the output, like I said, I would suggest print previewing the report first before you actually print it. If you do print preview and that report generates, you can go ahead, scan it, make sure everything looks good. And then from that preview, there will be a print option too. So don't think you have to print preview it, close out of it, and then go back, print report, or even schedule it. It's simple as print preview it, give it a look, make sure it's what you want, and then go ahead and print it if you do want a paper copy. For security purposes, I can't run this report to show you But again, if you do have any questions regarding the producer report, go ahead and reach out to me, and we'll schedule a time and we'll run a report for your agency specifically. Just to go over what's going to be on that report, if I do see some new faces here. Let's see here. If you've never received a producer report and you're not familiar with what it looks like, yes, please reach out to me and we'll go over all the different criteria on there. For those of you that are on here that have seen a producer report, you know that it's going to have everything that you might require. So, you have maybe 10 carrier contracts, and every single one of them, pays different commissions, different percentages, and what have you. So when we get a statement, let's say it has 10 of your policies, and we go ahead and we reconcile it in the system for you with all the information directly from that commission statement. Then we get another commission statement from a different carrier, same process. We're going to go ahead and reconcile all that information from the statement. And then this producer commission report essentially is recreating those statements that we received for your agency, and we put it right here on this aggregate report showing you all the info that you might require to manage your commissions. So it's going to tell you the accounting month that the commissions were processed. It will then break out by the producer. So some of you might have multiple producers. And they might get different commission splits based on your percentages. So, if you wanted to give somebody 25% and your agency takes the remaining percentage, you can go ahead and allocate a percentage to that individual. We'll set that default up in the back end. And when it gets reconciled, it will be a complete separate page on your producer report so that you can go ahead and pull those pages out and give it to Joe Smith and say, here you go, this is your production for this specific month. Going forward, then it'll break out by the carrier and then all the clients that we received and processed for that carrier. And then it's just going to have, the name of the clients, the effective dates, the policy numbers, the type of policy, if it's a home, auto, business owner's policy, the status of it. Is it a new policy, renewal? Is it an audit? Then it's going to have the premium that we received commission on, the carrier percentage that they're paying us, the gross commission, the producer commission amount, and then the producer commission percentage, and then the producer commission amount. So again, that's going to show you essentially all the information that you're going to need to manage your agency and figure out which commissions have been paid on. So that's the long and short of the producer commission report. It's very it's like I said, it's an aggregate report. It's going to show you everything that is processed in a specific month, or if you're looking for a specific time period, again, you would just go on this criteria line right here and you would select the time period that you want, and then you can go ahead and preview that. If you want to look at the first quarter of a year, again, you would do January of 2018 through March of 2018. And again, it's going to break out however you've designated based on this criteria. You can go a little bit further and you can, change the criteria for some other things as well. So you see here line status. So if you wanted to know every new business policy that was reconciled in a specific month, you would come to line status over here, put everything up top if you see here available, and then over here too you see include and exclude. So if you want to do just new, I suggest putting everything up top, which you would click this double arrow. You would go to the item that you're looking for. So in this case, we're just looking for new policies, and then hit the single arrow down. And then in this case, when you run this report for this time period, you're looking at just policies that had the line status of new business. Moving forward then, we're going to go to the production report. Everything that I just went over as far as the criteria is going to be the same process, really. Whatever you want to run, a specific time period, a specific carrier. If you're looking for a specific carrier, it would be transaction premium payable company. So if you're looking for we'll go through here. I don't know, Allstate, or trying to think of a big one here, American General. You would just go ahead and click on that company and just put it down here and make sure included is. included is checked off here. And then in this case, you run this report, it's only going to show you policies for American General. And again, whatever time period you're looking for. The only difference between the producer commission and the production report is how the producers are split. So if there are producer splits, it's going to show the information a little bit differently. Reason being is, if you're familiar or not familiar, there is an area when you're entering a policy or on the billing screen that says production credit. Now, we've always said just put 100% production credit to one person just to make it simple. It doesn't really affect anything as far as how individuals are going to get paid, but it does affect what shows up on this production report. So as I mentioned in the producer commission report, if you have multiple splits, and let's just say a policy is being reconciled with two individuals, that premium and gross commission is going to show up on both pages. So it'll show up on John Smith's report, and it'll show up on John Smith's report. So if the premium was $100, it's going to show premium $100 for Joe and premium $100 for John. If the commission was 10%, it would show $10 for John, and it would show $10 for Joe. Now, here's where it would be separate on the producer commission report. If Joe is getting 25% and John is getting 70%, it will now calculate 25% at the $10 for Joe, so he's going to get $2.50, and John is going to get 75%, so he's getting $7.50 of that $10 gross commission. Now, with the production report, the premium and the gross commission are not going to show up for both producers. Whoever has the production credit, that's where the premium and the gross commission will show up. But the net due the producer will still be accurate based on what the splits are. So the reason for the production report then is going to be so that you can see your true numbers for a specific month or a specific time period. Because on the producer commission, as I mentioned, it's gonna show producer. So at the end of the producer commission report will be a summary, and it's going to show you all the numbers for each producer. So if you have multiple producers and they're splitting commissions, and you look at the bottom line on a producer commission report, it's going to look like that premium and gross commissions are higher than they are. So the production report, though, is only going to show it one time. In this case, really the production report, the best thing for it is to run it, and you don't even need to see the detail. You would just want to see the summary page, and you're going to go, and what you can do is you would go to layouts on the report, and you're going to see detail and summary. And you see here print, yes and yes. All you would do is come down here and uncheck print for the detail. And then this way, now when you go and run this report, you're only going to see the summary, and then it's going to show you what your true premium reconciled for that time period was and what your true gross commission is for that time period. And then you can go ahead and calculate what the net due your agency is based on your agency split, so that this way that's for you if you wanted to check to make sure everything is reconciled at the correct percentages. Now, rest assured, my department has 3 checks and balances that we perform to make sure that every policy that we received is reconciled. It's reconciled at the correct percentage from the carriers, and then it's reconciled at the correct producer splits. If for whatever reason you think it's not correct, please reach out to me. We'll get on the phone, we can get on a WebEx or what have you, and I'll make sure that we go over that report at length to make sure that you understand. So, as I just mentioned, though, we reconcile what we receive. However, if we don't receive it, what happens? It goes on the outstanding list. For those of you that are newer and you might not have received an outstanding list yet, this is what it is. We get a statement from a carrier. It has 10,000 policies on it. We were only able to reconcile 9,990 policies. So we have 10 policies that are outstanding. So what do? We don't just not pay it, and well, we can't pay it out, but we don't just forget about it. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a list we call the outstanding commissions list, and we break it out by state. And what we're going to do is we're going to put various information on there so that you can identify when you receive this list if you do or do not have any policies that are outstanding in the system. The information that is going to be on this list is going to be the state first and foremost. So it's going to go out to any affiliate within a specific state. So if you do get an outstanding list and it's 5 pages, that doesn't mean that every single client on there belongs to your agency. So the way that we try to simplify that for you is the first criteria that is going to be on that outstanding commissions list is the branch code or the carrier code, so that you know if you have a contract with Safeco and your code with them is A1234, you get this outstanding commissions list, you look at the Safeco policies and you look for the branch code A1234. If you see that, if you see a client on there that has that branch code, that belongs to your agency. So why is it on the outstanding list? There's a couple different reasons. The two most common things are it's stuck in suspense, because something was entered incorrectly, maybe the effective date, maybe the policy number. There was something that didn't allow the policy download to attach to the client and have that policy uploaded into the system. So that's the first common reason why it would be on the outstanding list. The second reason it would be on the outstanding list is if it's a policy that does not download. So life policies, for instance, do not download. So that means that if you issue a life case, you have to manually go into the system and input various information in order for us to reconcile the commissions once we receive them. So if you get this outstanding list, it comes from the state partners, or in some instances, it comes from me. So, and it's going to come, it'll never come later than the 10th of the month, but it'll probably come anywhere between the 5th and the 10th. It is very important, once you see an email that says outstanding commissions, outstanding money, you want to bring that to the top of your priority list. And maybe you don't necessarily, when you go through the list, maybe you don't necessarily get the information entered in the system that day, but you want to go through that list almost right away. I would say, within that day, you're going to want to go through it. You find 5 policies on there that belong to your agency. So that means that we received the commission, but we couldn't pay it out, again, because we couldn't find it in the system. So it would be a good process to either highlight it, make a note of the clients, and then I would say within a couple weeks, make sure to get it entered. Because if you have clients on the outstanding list and you do not notify somebody in my department by the 25th of the month, that's now going to go out another month of you getting paid. So you get this report between the 5th and the 10th of the month. You're going to want to verify if you have any commissions. If you do, you're going to want to figure out why it's not in the system. If you need help with that, you can always reach out to Laura and her department, and they will definitely assist you with getting the information in the Epic and how to avoid it going forward. And then you're going to want to reach out to, actually, there's going to be a specific individual in my department that handles it. Her name is Erin Mulligan. I know that I put it on my email. Actually, I believe it is directly on the outstanding list too. So you do see those clients on the outstanding list. You reach out to Laura. You figure out why it was on the outstanding list. You now get them entered in the system. You're going to then want to reach out to Erin Mulligan and let her know, hey, I have since updated this client from the outstanding list. Can you please get them reconciled? If you reach out to Erin and before the 25th of the month, we're going to go ahead and get those reconciled in that month. So let's say February. If you email Erin before February 25th that you have 3 clients on the outstanding list, we will reconcile them in February and you will go ahead and get paid on March 15th. Now let's say you email Erin on February 27th. Unfortunately, we're already in our month-end process where we're balancing and making sure everything is in order. Now it's going to get pushed off until March, so we'll reconcile in March, and then you won't get paid until April. So that's why this is very important when you get this list that you check it right away. Because if I receive the money in January, you should get paid in February. You will get paid in February unless it's not in the system. So now we got paid in January. We put it on the outstanding commissions. You get that list in February. You tell us that it's on there and it's been since updated in the system. You'll get paid in March. So it's already taken you an extra month to get paid commissions that are owed to your agency. And trust me, we don't want to hold on to these commissions. We want to pay you. So I know in the past people have told me, well, I check it every 3 or 4 months. It's like a nice, a forced savings account. And then once I tell you, hey, I got 15 policies on here, I get a nice little bonus. Well, that's not a good mentality because of the time value of money. Cash is king, right? I'm an accountant, so cash is king. So we have this money and we want to pay you. Sorry about that. Someone was printing something. So we want to pay you this money as soon as possible. We don't want to hold on to it. And the whole point is that you need this money too to run your agency. You're going to have expenses and you're going to have overhead. So it's not a good mentality to think that, oh, I'll get paid these commissions eventually. No, you want to look at this list and you want to get them updated in the system and get paid right away. At the other point too, or bringing me to another point, is we only maintain 6 months of outstanding commissions for this list. So what's going to happen is, because we do a lot of things are automated. So in the system that we manage the outstanding commissions, it automatically knocks off the 7th month. So once we go into February, it's going to knock off that last month. So it's going to only have 6 months on there. So then what happens is it goes on to another list called Old Outstanding. And let's say, it goes 8 months now and you're like, hey, say we're in August. Hey, I issued a policy in January, but I never received commissions. What's going on? Oh, it was never entered. Well, what that means is that it is now on our old outstanding commissions. And that list, it's not large, but it's not small either, unfortunately. The sad truth is that some people just don't check this outstanding list, and we have commissions from, years ago that we still want to pay your agency, but we just can't because it's not in the system. So if you do have a policy that you haven't been paid commissions on, and let's say you issued a policy, this year, and then all of a sudden it renews next year, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't ever remember seeing commissions on that for the new business. Well, you can go ahead and reach out to me or anyone in my department and say, hey, this policy is renewing. I don't show in the system that I was ever paid on the new business. Well, it's going to take us a little bit longer to go back and figure out if we ever received those commissions when the policy was newly issued. So that 1 month delay is now going to be even larger because of the process and everything that is involved in going to find these commissions. It might take us 2 or 3 months before we actually find it and then get you paid, just because we have to prioritize with the current lists and the current procedures that we have to make sure that you guys are getting paid in a timely basis. So that's kind of the long and short of the outstanding list too. The most important takeaway is that once you get this from either the state partner or myself, please put that to the top of your priority, because that means that there's money out there that we could not allocate to an agency, and that means that's money out of your pocket at that current time. But eventually we could get you those commissions as long as you go ahead and get them entered in the system. So let's see what else we got on the agenda here. We also wanted to talk about wholesale and the E&O. Is that right, Laura?
That is correct, but we do have a question from Sam. He would like to know how they can see the old outstanding list that you're referring to.
Okay, so that is not, and I apologize here, I forgot about the chat here. So the old outstanding, we don't necessarily send that out, because what happens is, as I was referring to this outstanding commissions, and it separates by state. So what happens is, once we go into a new month, that 7th month drops off and it goes to a master list. So in that case, we don't want to send that master list out. So another a good process would be to, when you do get this email, I would create a folder in your email system, if it's Outlook or Gmail, what have you. Pretty much every email system has the capability to create folders. I would go ahead and I would get that email and put it right into that folder, so that this way you have every list going back to day one that you signed with us. As far as the old outstanding, though, we're not going to directly send that, because it can be very large, and it's gonna have every single one of our states. So it's going to be time consuming for you as well. So the best thing to do, like I said, really is to check that outstanding list right away. You do that, it's gonna shrink this list, and you're not going to be spending time trying to go through it, because you might see some that could be 10 pages long. And yes, we try to put as much information on there, but we also don't want to put too much, because we know that it's going to go to everybody in that state. So, if you affiliates maintain this viewing the outstanding commissions, it's going to shrink that file more and more, and eventually, these outstanding commissions. This is our end goal, is to have these outstanding commission lists be less than a page. Hopefully, a handful of policies. Just so you know, we do about 45,000 transactions a month between all of our affiliates. So you can imagine there's a lot of work that goes in the back end, and then also maintaining these lists. So we understand, though, that you have things that slip through the cracks. We're not penalizing you for that. Once it goes on the outstanding list, it's not like we're going to take a percentage of it. I would like to do that, but we're not going to do that. You're owed your percentage. We're going to pay that to you as long as it's in the system. So to really answer your question, we're not going to send the actual old outstanding list, but you can always keep every single month going back, and then I would just track if you had a client on there, or just make sure that it's always checked off, what have you. That would be my suggestion for you. Any other questions while I got this window open about the outstanding list?
I don't see any, Anthony.
Okay, so let's just talk about, what do you think? Let's talk about wholesale first. Wholesale, or E&S business, excess and surplus. Now, in our beginning days, we created a file, and you're going to get that every month. It goes out in our newsletter, I believe now. It's going to have what we call our E&S worksheet. It's going to have a how-to guide as far as how to process it, and I believe there's a financing worksheet to kind of help you with the numbers if you're going to finance a policy, or I should say, if one of your insureds is going to finance a policy. Now, we definitely don't need the financing worksheet. That's purely for your documents if you want them. The how-to is just a very good guide to show you if you're not familiar with doing E&S business. It'll kind of walk you step by step. And then the wholesale worksheet. Now, in the past, we always said, send us the worksheet and send us a copy of the invoice or the statement. If you're creating that worksheet for an invoice that you're receiving, you're really duplicating your efforts, and we don't necessarily need that anymore, because if you send me that invoice or that statement from Echelon, Burns & Wilcox, Atlantic Specialty, that's going to have all the information I need. I need to know who the affiliate is. I need to know what is the premium, what is the commission percentage, and what is the commission amount. From there, I know what we need to do, because we're going to collect our override percentage. We don't need you to fill out that worksheet. If you want to, more power to you. That's great. It simplifies things a little bit on our end, but I want to simplify things on your end. So if you do start writing any E&S business or wholesale business, per the contract, we're still entitled to the override, so you do need to send it to me one way or another. To make it simplified, like I said, just send that invoice or just send that statement. From there, we'll go ahead and do our part. And just so everybody knows, when you do send me, I know some of you will send it to JJ or maybe somebody else, it's going to get to the right person as long as it goes to somebody in the accounting department. So that you know, when you do send us an E&S worksheet or a wholesale account, what have you, let's say you send it to me right now, 2/6. I am not going to collect that override until March. So just so you know that it's not like I'm going to take it right away. And what happens is we are going to maintain all the invoices and statements that we receive, hold them off until March, and then we're going to put them together. Say, okay, we have 5 invoices from this affiliate. The gross commission is $100. We're going to take our override, and what we're going to do is there's going to be a line item on your deduction statement, and it's going to say E&S wholesale overrides. And let's say your gross commissions from your carriers was $20,000, and your override that was due to us was $100. You'll just see that your gross commissions are going to be reduced by $100. That's the simplest way to do it. Some people do like to send us a check. That's not a problem either. But if you do just send us the invoice, just know that we'll always collect it the next month. We're not just going to collect it that first month. We got a question here. Is there a way to get the producer commission report with a breakdown of sales fees? So with sales fees, new business and renewal fees, are you talking about if you are enforcing a fee on your client?
Hey,
well, you know what?
hang on. I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to Jaime, I just unmuted you so you can ask your question directly to Anthony.
Yes. No, what I'm talking about is I used to get a report, not from you, but with my sales fees, so I know, okay, this month we had a commission new fees of new sales fees of $4,500, and my renewals are I don't know $12,000. So
Mhm.
because I get all together now, and I have to be looking at the lines and carriers and see which one is a new policy and which one is a renewal. Basically, new business and renewals, because that would really
Yeah.
help us. And I know these days if there's a way to do anything. So
Yeah. So what you're going to want to do then is, I don't think it's necessarily fees. I think you're really wanting to know commission. So what you want to do then is you can go to either this producer commission report or this producer or production report, and you're just going to want to go here to line status. And again, all you got to do is click on it, so you can click on any one of these criteria and update them for the information that you're looking for. So in this case, if you're looking for new business separately than renewals, you would just come here to line status. Like I said, everything I think originally, or actually I know when we send this to you, is going to be all. So you're going to see line status and you're going to see all, but you want just new business first. Come to line status, put everything up top, make sure that include selections is checked, and then go ahead and find what you're looking for. So new business, new policy, single arrow down. Now you can run this report, in this case, January through March for the new business. Then you can save that report, you can print it, whatever method you want to do. Then you would come back, put new business up, and look for renewal. And then single arrow down, and then run this report. So then now you're going to have 2 separate reports. One of them is going to show you the new business. One of them is going to show you the renewal. Now, if this is something that you're looking for on a monthly basis, this is where we can go ahead and schedule this. This way, you don't have to change it. So what we would do is we would come into here, we would set the criteria how we want it, go to delivery options, schedule it. Say we schedule it for the first day of every month. Then that report would be scheduled. You can come back in here, change the criteria to new business, and schedule it again. You can keep scheduling from the same report. It's not going to affect the old reports. Does that answer your question?
yes, that's something I have to be to do on my own. Yes, I was just saying, if that's something we can get, because we get it monthly from you, and sometimes I don't have the time to be running these reports, you know, trying to do something else. But I mean, it would be nice if the report we get from you, it will just have a line of, new business and all, That's all.
Yeah, so that's where, and if we need if you need a little more assistance on scheduling reports, we can certainly schedule time outside of this call to show you how to do that. And then once we schedule it one time, it'll be there forever.
Okay, yeah, that would
So
be
that this way, yes, you're not gonna have to come in here and continually change that. If you know that you want a specific month, like if you just want that information for a specific month, but each month we'll schedule it. It'll go out on I'd say the first of the month would be the smartest thing to do. We'll schedule it for new business, schedule it for renew. Then this way, every month on the first of the month, you're going to have 2 reports in your email, and there you go. You can open them up and save them, electronically to wherever is going to make sense for you when you're looking for this information. This way, like I said, you don't have to come in here and change it each individual month.
right.
That's the advantage of the scheduling. If you know that there's going to be a report that you're looking for on a monthly basis. But you don't want to go, this only takes a couple minutes to come in here and change the criteria. But if there's really no need to change the criteria, you just want to have a certain report month to month, all we got to do is schedule it, and then here you go. Whatever day we select you to get that report, it's going to be in your email right there for you, nice and simplified.
Okay. Now, on top of that, I will still receive the monthly report from you guys, right? Because I look at that
Absolutely.
once I get
Yep.
it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because and I didn't mention, not most of you, but a lot of you here have already experienced the process. But for those of you that haven't, I did mention that report, the producer commission report, is scheduled to go out on the first of the month at 1 a.m. And that report, if you go to the summary, is going to show you what is due your agency. So the report that you get on 2/1 is going to be paid to you on 2/15. And if you do or do not know, we also send out a deduction statement, which is going to show you those gross commissions up top from the report on the first of the month, less the deductions or less the expenses, Easy Links, Epic, any wholesale overrides, NVRs. So up top, it'll have the gross commissions, and that should always directly reflect that report that you received on the first of that month. So 2/1, you get a report. It says your agency is due $10,000. Between the 7th and the 10th of the month, you get that deduction statement. Up top, you should see gross commissions, $10,000. Then below it, you're going to see a couple deductions, and then you're going to see net due. And let's just say you had $300 in expenses. So $10,000 gross commissions, $300 in expenses. Net due your agency is going to be $9,700. And for those of you that don't know, the money is directly deposited into your operating account on the 15th of the month. However, if the 15th lands on a weekend or a bank holiday, we will pay you a day or two prior. So your deposit could be as early as the 13th, but never later than the 15th. In my 12 years, I'm proud to say we have never missed a deposit. So rest assured, commissions that we receive and are able to process in the management system will be paid to your agency on the 15th of the following month. So going forward, last thing that we have here, I get this request very often. So we went ahead and we customized the report in Epic, because that is the nice thing in Epic. I like to say the reports are limitless, but everything has its limits. But over the years, we've identified what information our affiliates are looking for, and we've been able to create custom reports that are going to benefit our affiliates so that they can run their agency, to the best level that they can. And that's the whole purpose of joining our network, is that, we all come from different backgrounds, but essentially all within the insurance network, and we know what is required to run an agency and what is required to grow that agency. So we've developed best practices, we've developed or created custom reports, and we are always here to service you and to help you in any way that you need. And that's what we pride ourselves on, because we know how hard, or we know that transition from a captive to an independent is very difficult. So that's why we're here to assist you. So the last thing that I want to go over here is what we have just called our E&O report, because what do you need every year? E&O insurance. And what do you need? You need a lot of different information. What is your total premium? What is your total commission? who are your top 5 carriers, what is your personal lines commission, what is your commercial lines commission. So we went ahead and we created a report, and I'm going to show you in my reports, and this is going to be labeled the same thing for everybody. If you see, it's highlighted here in blue, E&O report, carrier, department, and line. So again, this is another report that we are going to drop into every single one of your My Reports. And then this way, when it comes time for you to renew your E&O insurance, you're going to go to this report and in order to go ahead and finish or complete that application for your E&O. So if we go again here, so let me actually just close out here since I already had it open. When you come here to your My Reports and you see all of them, in order to change the criteria, there's a couple different ways, but the easiest way is to just double click, find the report and double click on it. You can either double click on it or you can come up here where this little pencil is and hit the edit/view. I always just double click on it as I just did. Then you're going to see now we have access to all these different criteria that we can change. So again, it's going to be specific to your agency when we do drop it in your report. So the agency here will only have one state or one item, I should say. So again, we'll just say Arizona. So you're going to see agency, and you'll just want to verify though, just to make sure that we didn't make an error. When you do see this report, that it does say your agency that you're in or your state that you're in. Then moving down, you'll just want to make sure that your branch is selected. So again, if we had just accounting, Arizona is our state, accounting is our branch, so that should be pre-filled. Need for your E&O insurance is you're going to need a 12-month time period. So most people, their E&O insurance renews January 1. Some people it doesn't. So you always want, this is going to be the important part of this report, you always want the last 12 months that were finalized. So in this case, we are in February of 2019. So if we want our last 12 months of production, we would select, we would want February of 2018 through January of 2019. That is going to be my 12-month period. So, if your E&O renews January 1, you would obviously use January of a specific year through December of a specific year. In this case, let's say your E&O renewed in February, you need to get your last 12 months that were finalized in Epic. So you would do February 2018 through January 2019, because again, that is the last 12 months that were finalized. I can't run this report because there's no sample data, which is something I actually might want to do. But just so you know, it's probably going to be between 2 and 3 pages. And the first page is going to be a summary of all your premium and gross commission numbers by carrier. Because again, I know a question a lot of times on an E&O application is, who are your top 5 carriers? So in this case, the first page will be a summary by carrier of that 12-month time period. So then this way you can see, okay, Progressive is my number 1, Safeco is my number 2, MetLife is 3, and so on. Next page or 2 pages will then be broken out by department or by the line of business. So, well, actually both, department and line. So the reason I say different things is because, like again, agency in Epic is the state. Department in this case is commercial, personal, life, and health. And line in this case is going to be home, auto, commercial auto, work comp, life, whole life, what have you. So the report is going to break it out by department and line. The second summary is going to break out. So it will first have, I believe, commercial. And then so above it is going to say business owners policies, work comp, GL, and all the different types of policies that you have that are commercial lines, and it'll break those out individually so that you know, okay, I have 10,000 in commercial auto premium, I have 20,000 in work comp premium, and so forth. And then at the bottom, it will say commercial lines, and it will give you a total for every single one of those types of policies that your agency has. Then it will break off and it'll go to personal lines. So it'll have personal auto, personal home, umbrella, and going down. And then it will, and so again, it breaks that out individually by those line items. And then at the bottom, it will have the total for personal lines, going down, life, and so forth. So this report, again, is very important when you're renewing your E&O. It should have, I send this out to anyone that requests it, and in the last year or so that we created it, have been sending it out. I've never had anyone come back to me and say I need more information. If you do, please don't hesitate. We'll definitely figure out what you're looking for and get that info to you. But this report, I would say 99.9% of the time is going to have everything that you're looking for. So again, we will definitely, we are in the process of putting a producer commission report, a production report, and this E&O report in all of your My Reports. And the E&O report is just going to be basic where it says E&O report, carrier department line. The producer commission, though, and the production report, we will label it your agency name dash producer commission for the producer commission report, and then for the production, it will be your agency name dash production report. I know it's a lot of information. I'm a very visual person too, and I couldn't really show you the reports. I know some of you are familiar with them, some of you might not be. So again, I am available whenever you need me. Don't hesitate to reach out. I have no issue getting on a phone call, getting on a webinar, whatever we have to do, to make sure that you understand, what we're doing for you, and what you can do yourself. Because at the end of the day, you might send me an email or someone in my department, and maybe it's the end of the month and we're tied up with a few other things, but you need this info now. So you have access to this info. That's kind of the purpose of me sitting on here and trying to go over these reports with you, is that you have all this access, all this information right at your fingertips. And again, we don't ever mind helping you out, but we know that in this day and age, it's all about that instantaneous results or that instantaneous information. So we want you to be able to come into your office, you're looking for a specific piece of information. Oh, I just got to run a quick report. My reports, here it is, print preview. This is what I need. So that's the whole purpose of us going over this stuff. And I know, again, we couldn't see specific examples of the producer reports, but if you do want some more info or some more guidance with those, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Laura, Anissa. We'll do whatever we need to do on our end so that you are able to come into Epic and run reports at the click of a few buttons. So that's all that I have to bring to the table today. So does anybody else have any other questions before I jump off here?
Well, thank you, Anthony. That was absolutely fantastic. I don't see that there are any other questions. But I just wanted to let everybody know that we're going to be giving those reports to the affiliates. So not everybody in the agency will be receiving those, just the affiliates. And remember, like Anthony said, stop everything you're doing and check out that outstanding commissions report, because that's money that we owe to somebody. So make sure you get those in there before the 25th of the month. And you have to email Erin. And on that report, it does say email Erin. It's got her email address. So please make sure that you do that. So thank you very much, Anthony. We greatly appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, they can email Anthony.
All right.
Good job, Anthony.
Yeah, great job. All right, everybody. So I know that I only have 3 seconds here to show you guys very quickly how to do a couple of the things in in Epic. So let me know if you guys can see my screen. Can you see my Epic screen? Just raise your hand if you can. Anybody? Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do really quick is the birthday. I know a lot of you connect with your clients and you want to do that birthday. You want to do all of the birthdays. So in our go-to training, you're going to go in and you will see that there is the birthday. It'll say birthday list instructions. It's not, you're not registering for a one-on-one with me. You're just going to come in here to get that link that you are going to need. So you come in here, you register it. Right after you register, this is the screen you're going to see. This is the link you need right here, this external reports install. Here's the procedures. If you click on the procedures to access the downloaded files and you open this up, it's going to open up the document to walk you through how to use the birthday list. So you're going to come in here, it's going to show you what you have to do, pick it, it's got all the instructions right here. Then you are going to click on here and it's going to want to install this onto your computer, and that's how it's going to update so you can use the birthday list. So when you are in Epic and you go to locate a client, you can come into links and you can run your birthday list right here. And then you're going to click finish, and then it's going to ask you to extract what you want to do. So let me pull this over so you can see this. Then you're going to pick the month you want. And I know I'm going really fast, but once you guys see the procedures on how to do it, it'll all make sense. And then you click this extract button, and then it's going to come through, and it's going to go through everybody in your agency, your clients, and it's going to pull just for April. That Excel spreadsheet then is going to be saved on your desktop. So on your desktop is when it will be saved. Mine takes a really long time. I'm going to close that because I have access to everybody, so it is going to run and it takes a long time for me. So that Excel spreadsheet will be on your desktop. You can open it up. A lot of our agents like to, when they're traveling, call everybody and say, hey, happy birthday to them. And that is a fantastic way to connect with your contacts, with your clients. Faxing out of Epic, I know I'm going really fast. I do apologize for everybody. When you have your, okay, not letting me pull it over. So in your attachments, and I can't pull it, it's not letting me. All right, so got a little Epic slowdown here. All right, so let's move a couple things over, and I'm going to share my other screen. I cannot. All right, so that'll have to be at another time. For some reason, it is not letting me get into my attachments. So I do apologize to you guys on that. But I will send you the how-to on how to fax and email from Epic. So I apologize for that little glitch that I wasn't able to get in there and do that. But I appreciate you guys all joining and staying on and listening to all the information that Anthony had. It was so awesome that he was able to explain that all to everybody. But if it was a little overwhelming and you still have questions, don't hesitate to call him or email him. He's there to answer all of those questions that you have. He's so knowledgeable on all of the different reports, and he's able to create those for you. So look for those in your My Reports, and then we can get those scheduled for you. I know that we purged suspense, and I know I'm getting a lot of emails, and Anissa's been getting a ton of emails of people asking, where did my items in suspense go? We gave everybody enough notice to let them know that we were wiping it out completely, starting fresh, and now you'll have to request another download if it's not there. So all you have to do is contact that client, and in our newsletter and on our ASNOA.com website, in our member services, it will show you how to request another download from the carrier. All else fails, all you got to do is call them up and say, hey, can you please request this download? They'll either transfer you to the correct department or they'll let you know how to do that. So I know that I'm 5 minutes over, but I really appreciate you guys. Does anybody have any questions before we're done here? And actually, can you guys really fill out the evaluations and let me know what you guys want to see on the upcoming Live with Laura's, because that's amazing. And I'm really sorry. I know that several of you wanted to see how to fax, and I'm just having a glitch and I cannot get my attachments to open. So I apologize for that. But we'll send a follow-up with all that information in it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I'll stay on for a little bit in case anybody has any questions. I'm going to unmute in case anybody's on there.